Okay, it's time to get this video started. Oh my gosh, it's a little bright in here. The sun's a little intense. Mike's out of town, so I don't have my right hand that's gonna help me. It's gonna help me put the videos together to look so professional and beautiful. I'll do the best I can. There probably won't be any of the great music that Mike and Ron Greenberg custom did for the Rebel Crone. So, but anyways, I think I can get the bumpers on and get it in semi-good visual appearance. Anyways, as always, if you do like these videos from the Rebel Crone, I know I'm just getting started with it, but if you're intrigued, please hit the like button, subscribe, and make sure notifications are turned on so that we can let you know when the next one comes out. After the last couple of, actually I've done 3 videos so far for you that are keeping up with me in real time. The first one was an introduction to the Rebel Crone, why I started it, my feelings about growing older, and what the need is out there. The second one is on purpose. Aging with purpose is so important. It's one of the huge challenges I feel for all people getting older, and especially for women. And then the last one I did was a cosmological reset. So I'm going to recap the last 2 just because it'll help bring us into the topic of this video, which is a deeper dive in on how to find our purpose. Obviously, that is a very big topic. If you expect in the next 30 minutes or so that I'll be able to tell you exactly, what your purpose is going to be, maybe it'll come up, but chances are it's going to take some work on your part. But at least I can give you some, a quick how-to, a down and dirty how-to guide. How's that? After the last video I put out, I got some really beautiful emails from a couple of women that were talking about how they're struggling at their age in their early 60s of finding, early 60s and late 60s actually, of finding purpose in their life. These are women that have had very successful careers, raised children. Children are gone now. Careers are over. They're supposed to be in retirement. And they're going, well, wait, though, I may be this age, but inside I feel I'm so vital. I feel like I'm at the peak of my game, the peak of my wisdom, my understanding, my balance. All these different aspects have really honed into, making me a very vital person. Contrary to what the world will say that we're losing our vitality now and it's best to just kind of exit and go off and just have fun. Well, women aren't feeling that way. Women are feeling like there's something more I want to do. So the few that reached out, they said, well, could you go into some more detail about it and help me, because they're really struggling with it. So this is for you. This is for hopefully it'll help point you in a direction and give you some wonderful, not just clues, but maybe some things that you can do to help move yourself into a place of finding what that is, listening to what that is. So let's go back and recap. All right, in finding your purpose, for me, purpose is intrinsically connected to our higher selves. If we're looking out there in the world for our purpose, in the things that are the people, things, places, whatever in our life, the outward appearance of things, we're never going to find it out there, because out there is really secondary, right? It's a reflection of what's inside. And what's inside is a reflection of what's trying to come through, move through us, and express out into the world. There's very specific reasons why we incarnated. We'll go into those in just a minute. But to find our purpose, we have to be linked in with our interior. We have to be linked in to our higher connection. It's only through that link that the right impulses, the right, the right perspective will come through of how to find that purpose and what that is. Our higher self is always communicating with us. We may not be listening, but it's always communicating. I don't know about you, but so much of my youth was spent in making the mistake of not listening. For every bad mistake I made, I should say bad, it's very judgmental, but every mistake that I made that I think there was a higher road to take, I always knew that higher road, and then I chose not to do it. And I was consciously aware of that. I was consciously aware of that in my life. I'd hear that inner voice and I'd be like, no, I think I'm gonna try that. Self-will, it's my option as a human incarnate to choose. Often I would choose maybe things that weren't in my highest and best interest, but the point is that I knew. Now, as I've gotten older, what I've learned, the wisdom that I've garnered from living a life is that I listen to that voice, and I know how to listen to that. I've worked hard on developing that connection so that I can hear what my higher self is trying to say to me. So it's really important. I mean, that is through that connection that we are going to know and understand and be inspired in a direction that'll lead us to our purpose. In Cosmological Reset, I talk about a different way of viewing our connection to spirit, as opposed to that I'm a separate thing, there's a light inside of me, and then here's the big light of my spirit, and I need to grow that light to connect, that really, so that I'm a separate thing from it, I think it's much more helpful and more accurate to look at spirit as the encompassment. And within spirit, here I am, my light is encompassed with the bigger light of who I am as a divine being, which is encompassed by bigger and bigger lights. Finally it's God, it's the Creator's light, right? That encompasses all, that projects its spirit into all the various parts of creation, all the beautiful sparks of energy that are individual beings. My being is one of them. Your being is one of them. And our beings decided that we wanted to incarnate into 3D realm, into this world for various reasons, and chose to do that. We're here at the graciousness and at the will and at the creativity of our higher self. So let's look at our higher self, okay, to find that. Now, there's two reasons for incarnation. One is to give and one is to receive. To receive, I like to look at that as the lessons that we've incarnated to learn. I mean, this is a huge learning ground, isn't it? I mean, it's a difficult place to be, planet Earth, in these physical bodies. Everything seems so real. We feel real pain, we feel real joy, we have real longings, and we learn real lessons. And those lessons can come easy or they can come hard. It's all up to us. But that's, for me, is like the receiving part, is how, as I need to receive, I'm receiving lessons from my world, the reflection back to me. And they're all very specific. We can look at it as karma as one of the specific reasons. Karma as in a balancing. It's a balancing of our souls. Maybe we have need our soul. I mean, our souls aren't perfect. They're in the process of growing too. I mean, they're perfect perfect in the process of their development. We're constantly developing as humans and as souls, as spirits. So part of the incarnation of receiving is to learn, is to receive lessons, is to alchemize the lessons and bring them into balance, bring it into harmony, so our spirits, our souls can learn. The other part is to give. So part of the learning lessons, and the other part is about being creative in the world. And what greater joy is there than to be able to be creative, to bring something into this world, to contribute something. I feel it's a fundamental longing. Right there with receiving is giving, a fundamental longing that's written in our souls, that we want to be, vital. We want to be a blessing, in whatever way. And it comes in all different shapes and sizes. It's absolutely unique to each one of us. But I feel there's that fundamental thing. And when that spark of being able to know and to feel like you're a contributing member to the world, to society, to your family, even to yourself, if you lose that spark, I feel like all is lost. It's a very, very dark, dark place. So it's important as we are perched in this second phase, whatever phase it is, this final phase of our lives. And I don't mean to be a Debbie Downer about it, but there is a timestamp, right? And I feel like at 63 that I am in, this beautiful final phase of my life. I'm not afraid of it. I'm like joyous about it. This is really potent time. I have so much to give to the world, and by God, I'm going to do it. By God, I'm making these videos. I'm doing Rebel Crone. I'm writing. I'm doing my things. I'm expressing myself. And there will be people out there that want to hear it. It may be a few, maybe 1, 2, 3, it may be a lot. I don't know, and it doesn't really matter, because I am going to give of myself, being true to myself. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. We're here to receive and we're here to give. So finding our purpose is really about the giving part, even though those are connected. A lot of our lessons we've come here to learn are really about honing in and refining our gifts. But that's like a whole other topic. We'll go into that into other, in other videos, about our stories, our lessons, and how we can really get focused on those and leverage those. But for today, let's just talk about the art of giving and how to figure out your purpose. First thing is we have to ask, we have to want to know, right? We have to begin the dialogue with our higher selves. Hey, self. Hey, spirit. How are you? Dear God, however you want to communicate and however you do your communication, with the higher invisible realms that love you and that are looking out for you. To start that dialogue and to ask. Remember, it's free will. I have to ask. Listen, I so want to give of myself into the world. I so want to share my gifts and help other people, or help this world. How can I do that? Please help me. We ask. That's the very first thing. What am I to give? Please guide me. We ask for guidance, and then we sit back and we start listening. We use our intuition. We look at inspiration, how it comes through, and we look at our passions that come from that. And I'd like to say that this is like a quick process, but sometimes it's not. Sometimes it can be. But for instance, before I decided to, or was inspired and decided to do the Rebel Crone, I'd started this, I'm almost done. It's been a whole year of working with a spiritual mentor, called my mystic mentor. And I joined up in her apprenticeship program because I really wanted to fine-tune myself. I wanted to fine-tune my ability to connect to the invisible, to the mystic realms, to the divine realms, to the invisible spiritual realms. And I wanted to learn more about that. I wanted to hone my skills, my gifts more in that area. And at one point, probably halfway through the process, she had us starting to look at our purpose. And you know what? I didn't feel anything. Like, I asked the question, and for probably 2 months, maybe even 3 months, I was a blank. And not just nothing came to mind, I felt like, well, the best analogy I can tell you is I felt like a caterpillar in a cocoon. I felt like enveloped in, it wasn't a scary place. I felt loved. I felt nurtured. But it was blank. It was empty. I looked around me. I couldn't see anything. And I'd always prided myself on being visionary. I've been a very highly creative, artistic person, and I see visions and I get ideas and inspirations. Well, nothing was coming through. But I know enough to know that, I'm in the creative void. Before something can come into creation, there's the void, right? And so I was in the void, not knowing how long it would last. And it lasted, and it lasted, and it lasted. But I kept working on myself. I kept working on my connection, the various things we did in the apprenticeship program. I worked on that, and I just allowed that void to be. And then pretty soon, after a few months, little glimmers started to come in of inspiration. more and more started to come in. And then at one point, it's like, I really want to work with women my age. I feel like that is my gift. I feel like that is, something that I can provide. And there's a lot more that went into it, but that's basically was the process. After I asked was a time when a gestation period before it started coming out, and it came out in little bits until it really developed. But enough about that process and about my process. This is about you. All right, so what I'd like you to do right now is to put the video on pause, run and grab a piece of paper and pencil. Okay, on pause. All right, you're back now with your paper and pencil because we're going to start making a list. We're going to start brainstorming. And that for me, as somebody that is, my gifts are being highly creative. I'm an idea person. I easily download inspiration and ideas and like putting together pieces of a puzzle. So I'm going to help you do this, okay? All right, so on the piece of paper, the first thing we need to start writing down is why. So why do you want to have a purpose right now? What are the feelings? And that's like get in our head with it, get out of our head with it, should I say, but get into our feelings. What can you articulate the longing that you're feeling right now that's propelling you into, wanting to figure out what your purpose is? What are those feelings? The feelings can be, I feel like I want connection. And through connecting, like when I was in the workforce, through connecting with other people, there was like creative alchemy and inspiration going on. There was friendship, there was, companionship, there was, whatever that list, start putting together why. I'm feeling like I really need to express myself in the world. I'm feeling sort of alone or lost, and I'm longing for this. It doesn't have to be a big list. It can be one or two things. And you may want to just keep this list handy, maybe by the side of your bed. I find a lot of inspiration as I'm going to sleep or when I wake up first thing in the morning. So it's important to kind of know your why, what is moving inside of you. The next is like the fun part, and this could be a really big list to start with. And this is what? Like, what am I to do? And the only place we can find that is through conversation with Spirit. How does Spirit converse with us? Through feelings, through passions, through preferences, through the things we like. These are all part of our makeup. My preferences are not your preferences. What I like may not be what you like. My passions are my passions. All this beautiful, puzzle of being Elisa, of being you, is unique to you. So start writing down, what moves you? What are you passionate about? Maybe it's hobbies. I like to knit. I like to embroider. I like to cook. I like to read books. I like to sing songs. I like to bang on the drums. I like to go for walks. I like to run. I like to sit and meditate in nature. I love communicating and communing with nature. Part of your likes is, do you really relate to the animal kingdom? Do you relate to the plant kingdom? Do you relate to the mineral kingdom? As a side note, oh my God, one of these things I'm gonna do in this life before I kick the bucket is I wanna go mining. I would be so happy, knee deep, elbow deep in dirt and looking for beautiful stones and gems and that is just like makes my heart sing. So I'm gonna do that someday, mark my words. Not gonna be my profession, but wow, that moves me. Okay, maybe working with people, that really moves you. I'm doing our purpose. It doesn't necessarily mean we're going out there and saving the world people-wise. It could be about the animal, plant, or mineral kingdom. It could be more of a cosmological thing. It could be more, I've got all my kitties are now surrounding me. You guys, hi. Anyways, let's get back to the list. Let's make our list. Do you like, what other things do you like? Just any kind of passion, just write them all down, seeming like a little thing. And the more you write, I think you're going to remember more things you're passionate about. I remember when I was a teen, I think this was like in my late teens or early 20s, I made this list of the things I loved. And I found it like years later, like when I was in my 40s, 50s, and I read this list. And I swear to God that if somebody gave it to me and said, okay, who wrote this? I would never have known I wrote that. I'd lost so much of it. But when I was reading it, it rekindled things. Gosh, I really like to lay down and look up at the stars. I had forgotten that. At that point in my life, I'd gone through a lot of rough things and I'd kind of lost touch with certain aspects of myself. But it's very interesting reading this. So allow your imagination to run wild. Even like, I was a kid, I wanted to be a ballerina. I really was passionate about being a doctor. Well, why? Why were you passionate about being a doctor? What did it mean to you? What did meaning a ballerina be? I mean, I can guarantee that probably not at your age you're going to become a prima ballerina or even a ballerina, but you can translate that into something else maybe, right? Why was it that you liked ballerinas or wanted to be a dancer? So it's not all's lost. There's nothing. Now, I repeat, there's nothing on this list that is wrong. Nothing. There's no right or wrong. You put everything on. There's nothing impossible on the list. Being the prima ballerina, maybe not, but there's something maybe possible that will come through that passion. Something incredible that's going to feed you and have you feel fulfilled and be a blessing to, who and whatever else in your world. And it's important, right? It's really important for us to be a blessing. So keep going with this list. Like I say, there is nothing that should be off this. When you feel you get to a point and you feel like you have completed and you feel like, wow, I've got quite a few things going, I want you to maybe take a couple of highlighters and go through and start highlighting like the ones in yellow maybe, or the ones that you circle are the ones that you're most passionate about. And if you can dive in with your own emotional realm and your own passion of like, what is it about this thing that I love? Why do I love reading books? Because reading books, maybe it transports me into other worlds. It helps me to understand history and how people felt way back when, and the person behind the stories were told. I mean, just kind of go with it. I mean, this is this quick how-to guide. This is just a real quick touching in on it, because these are very deep things and it requires you to do work. It requires you to do work into these things that you're passionate about. But maybe it's real easy. Maybe you have simply, I've got a passion. I still love to hike and be physically active, and I love to ski. And, there's a few little things on my physical activity list that I still do that I love and I'm passionate about. So try to narrow it down to the things that bring you the most joy. And this is going to be the list that you can work with, and so from this point then, now it gets a little bit tricky, because it's going to be about bringing some of this stuff together. And maybe once you make the list, you're going to start, ideas will start coming to you, inspiration will start coming, your spirit will start speaking to you through maybe circumstances, maybe weird serendipitous things that come in. I really love reading, and all of a sudden I meet somebody that, wow, they're a book editor, or they're a publisher, or they run book contests. Book contests always needs lots of people that will read books and critique them. And I mean, there's like so many things you can do with that skill. Maybe it is you need to become a writer, and that is going to be your passion. I became a writer at 58. I wrote my first book. Second one's almost done. I had no known skill as being a writer, but I got the inspiration. Spirit was talking to me, and I'm like, I really can't write. I hate writing. I think I have no talent, but I'm going to do it because I hear it. I hear the calling, and by God, I have a talent for writing. Who would have thunk? But I followed through with it. Now, bringing these things together is, it can be a little daunting. You might need help with it. You might need to work with a coach, a good life coach, a good spiritual coach. I'm available to work with private clients. It is one of my gifts is being able to bring inspiration in and put the pieces together of puzzles, the puzzles of being and the puzzles of expression and creativity. So I'm happy to take on a few clients. If you want, just reach out to me. Maybe just message me through the Rebel Crone on Facebook. That way it's personal. I don't want you to give any private information on the comments with YouTube channel. So just reach out, you can find me. If not, just go to Elisa at therebelcrone.com. Elisa with the E at therebelcrone.com, and we can talk about, how I might be able to help you with this. But anyways, this is the place where connecting in with spirit and really listening and looking in your world, because when we set that intention, it's gonna come through. That intention, like, we are manifesting machines. We are designed to create, to translate our spiritual longings, our spiritual impulses into physical reality. It comes through us. It's about us. We are the vehicles for that. So it's gonna be there. It's gonna come to you in the way of direct inspiration, maybe through other people or circumstances. But it's really important to know today, because there's only so much we can do, and this video is starting to get a little long and I'm going on and on. But this quick how-to guide is about reminding you that only way you're gonna find your purpose is through your passion. And the only place your passion comes through is from deep inside of you and your connection to your higher self and who you are and who your what your natural gifts are. You have natural gifts. When somebody comes to me and they say, oh, you're so creative, I'm artistic creative, and I'm thinking and idea creative, but I'm not creative in all things. I'm not creative in music. I'm not particularly creative in a bunch of other fields. But we all have our creativity. It's an accountant, working with numbers. Your passion is working with numbers. Maybe you don't want to be an accountant anymore, but you have this love for numbers. Well, what is that order? What is this about numbers that really sparks you? And that's a very creative thing. And there's fields of numerology, there's things that people go into with mathematics and spirituality that are just mind-blowing to me. They're not my jam, but it's like, whoa, I'd like to learn more about that, and kind of like a basic, how-to for idiots guide kind of thing. But everything is creative. Everything we do, all of our inspiration, our passions, are an expression of spirit, our expression of us. And that's how you're going to find it, is through honing that connection, is through listening, is through requesting, asking. Free will universe, once again, we have to ask to receive. Anyways, I hope this helps. Let me know in comments or email me where, how far you get in this process. It's kind of hard for me to pull the why, what, and how together when I don't have a concrete thing in front of me. But trust me, all these little pieces of why, the feeling I'm looking for, what I do, what are my passions, what moves me, and the hows, how can that be leveraged? This is creative alchemy is bringing this together, and I can't do this in a video. I can do it privately to help you, or you can find someone to help you, or you can do it. You can bring these things together. Just be careful as you're brainstorming and allowing these little seeds of inspiration to come in, is not to poo-poo them, is not to say, oh no. Like me, when I was first got the inspiration of writing a book, first thing that did come up was, yeah, but I'm not a writer. It's okay, but I know enough as I can put that aside. If I'm being called to do it, maybe there's something about me I don't know yet. Lo and behold, I can write. It's been a learning curve with it, and I'll do a whole video on that, because I think writing is a really incredible way of expressing ourselves. And, there's a lot of people that feel like there's a book inside of them, and, how to get that out. It's been a very interesting journey. but I didn't poo-poo it. You know, I didn't like, no, that is impossible. You know, I stayed with it. I really wish I could be a ballerina. Well, don't throw that out. Now, I don't think you're going to be, you know, a prima ballerina, or you may not be dancing, but there's something in those seeds that's inspiring you. What is it? What is it about a ballerina? What is it about the motion? What does the feeling go with? And maybe there's something that, you know, I'm sure there's something. If that is a passion of yours, there's a way for you to be a part of that and to be, you know, fulfilled in a way that your mind just says ballerina. Okay, does that make some sense? I hope it does. I'm learning how to give these presentations. You know, this is new to me, so in time I know I'll get much better at it. But for now, I thank you for bearing with me, and please give me your feedback. Once again, it's important for you, if you like this, hit the like button. You know, leave your comments, make sure to turn your notifications on so that when a new video drops, that you will be notified of that. And I thank you again, and I hope that this takes you one step closer to finding your purpose, because it is there. You're alive and breathing, ladies, and even my brothers out there. You're still alive and breathing. It doesn't matter your age, you still have purpose. You know, you're still here to receive, and you're still here to give. You know, so it would be my heart's joy to see you find that and be able to actually, you know, fulfill what it is that you're to give at this time in your life, because the world needs you. You are a unique part of humanity, and there's a unique place that's held just for you, just for the design of you, just for the expression of you. You know, go out, like, find that. Go out, go in, go in and find that, and, you know, have the courage to do it and know that it is there for you. And it's not, you know, when we're in the right place, things aren't hard. You know, there may be some challenges with it. There may be some new things to learn, you know, skill sets to develop, but it should all be an absolute joy. Anyway, that's it for right now, and hope this was helpful, and I will talk to you later. I look forward to your comments, and as always, peace in. Thank you.